Thursday, October the 1st, 2025, and today's walk is an adaptation of Saturday Walker's Book 1, Walk 35. Now normally this walk would start at the station down the road, Crowhurst, and is about 12.5 miles long. I last did that, I think, 2010, so 15 years back. Consequently it needs an update, but for logistical purposes I'm doing a variation today following some comments that I read on the club's website that it would be a good idea to walk through the Great Wood following the 1066 country path. So I'm going to try that today from Battle, because it has more trains than Crowhurst, certainly getting here anyway. So logistically it's better, and it will be about 10 miles I think, as opposed to the alternative. So let's try this variation through the Great Wood to Crowhurst and see what happens. Got a cracking day for walking today, absolutely wonderful. It's chilly, but not too much so. So with the blue skies, perfect. Now some of you may have watched The King and Conqueror with old Norton last Sunday. I only caught the end of it, watching his death actually, over which there's a question mark on how it actually happened. But unfortunately today I won't be able to see the site of the battle or the place where he was actually killed, because English Heritage are only open at weekends from September the 30th on to some point in March, I think it is. So I'm missing the actual battle, Senlac Hill, out completely, and shooting straight on with the walk. So that's turning right away from the battlefield, straight into the countryside hopefully. I do recall filming this previously on another battle walk. Might have been the free walk variation, which goes off in another direction again.
For more information visit southeasternrailway.co.uk.
It's about 11:45 now, 10 mile to do. Should be done by 5 at the latest. There's the old station. The initial walk-ins through this light industrial estate opposite the station. I'm using a GPX track today that I've created myself on OS Maps. I'm out by the railway line and I'm soon on the 1066 country path. This path on the immediate left and continue on down the road. Well, it's actually the country walk, not path. Didn't think I was getting that right. So, come off the road now and enter the Great Wood, which we follow for quite a distance. And as you can see, the lunchtime stop at Westfield is 4.5 miles hence. That's about what I worked out on the OS map. Got a stream on my left as I walk. Lovely smell of petrichor in here again. Yeah, good. Lots of oaks in this woodland, and I'm doing this variation because of a comment I read, as I said earlier, made in August this year, I think it was, by Michelle, and she suggested this as a good alternative even though she didn't do it. So let's see how it pans out. Problem with the main walk is that there's a lot of overgrowth, vegetation, in the summer months, autumn, and it's quite tricky walking. So as you can see, by comparison, at the moment this is a very broad path. No problems with vegetation, overgrowth here. Very quiet on the bird song front again. And of course the path quality is likely better in the winter months. Bracken's dying down now. Panel about the great wood, and next to it I believe that's meant to be Harold's crown. It is well signposted, no chance of getting lost really. Clearly a well maintained path as well, being a major trail. Another fly agaric. Looks like something's tried to eat that. Another golf course. Someone's buried a golf ball into the sign here. This is Sedlescombe Golf Club, and nothing like as busy as some I've been through recently. And in contrast to those, it's got your traditional retiree playing on the hole from what I've seen thus far. The path brings us out to this busy road opposite Crowhurst campsite. Opposite the Golf and Country Club you come to an easily missed path, which is typical of the paths I was describing earlier that are overgrown. And this is still the 1066 country walk. Starting to get a bit muddy underfoot now. Walking alongside a small stream on my left. So this would be a problem section after heavy rain, because we haven't had that much lately. Squeeze gates on this section. Must be to stop the horses, of course. Albeit really inappropriate for them anyway. It is a footpath as indicated by the yellow marker there. First host of the day. Lovely. Bridge here. Classic Wilden meadows between woods for the last probably mile or so. Now on the edge of Westfield. This footbridge, you don't make the mistake as I did and go across it following the 1066. We come off it here and continue right past these buildings. Another example of old farm barns being converted into light industrial stroke commercial units. Seems to be a lot of that going on these days. Westfield Church, wonderful, except for the fact that the gardeners are in. I can hear them strimming, so not going to be a peaceful one again. Incredible. St John the Baptist from the rear. It's a very big churchyard, must admit. The gardener's come to turn the machinery off at the moment, but indicates that he will be turning it back on shortly, but has tipped me off that there's a memorial garden at the bottom of the cemetery where it'll be a tad quieter. We're exactly 5 miles in at this point, and what a wonderful little place this is. Looks like someone's left their lunch there already. No back to the seat, mind you. That's a rubbish bag. Very good. Michael French, 41-20. Again, not particularly great innings. God rest your soul. Another seat there. And this is the memorial bit, I guess. And as you can hear, the strimming is quite distant. Right, let's get served. Coming up 10-2 or thereabouts. Interesting inscription. His true wealth was in his heart, his generous heart. What a generous heart it was. Good man. 2:20, lunch has been had, and whilst having it I noticed this little stash of what appears to be cannabis, I believe. I'm no expert on these things, but yeah, interesting. This place is so peaceful and quiet that the kids can even risk leaving their stash in this quiet memorial area in the knowledge that it won't get nicked. So here we are within St John the Baptist. Rather musty smelling place, I'll give it that. Probably why they keep the door open. Lovely. Now I think I recall reading in the notes about this church, I think it was this church, that the stained glass windows got blown out during World War II. I think it might be this one. You can research it online, of course. So as we get a female archbishop recently announced, got a female vicar here of Dibley. Perhaps not. Yeah, wonderful ceiling. And look at that for an organ, eh? Blended in with it. Fantastic. Look at it shapes. The shape of it, yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Locked up as well. Interesting that they've never replaced the stained glass though. Shame it disappeared. Quite a plain church otherwise. And looking back, Lord's Prayer there amongst others on the wall. Maybe this is the sort of play school area. Right, 25-3, time to crack on. Wonderful. Another example here of a hedge being cut at the wrong time of year. I saw the guy on the tractor doing it. I was going to ask him why they do it, or why he's doing it at this time of year. All the nuts and berries been decimated, obviously. Nothing for the birds again. Should be done in January, February, as I continue to say, when the berries have turned over and died, and hopefully the birds are fat from what they've eaten earlier in the autumn. Trouble is, there's no berries left for them to eat in the autumn these days, because farmers are cutting hedges at the wrong time of year. Thatch down there. So I'm now in Whiteland Wood per the map, and from Westfield onwards I'm doing the SWC Saturday Walkers Club version of the walk, but in reverse. So I'm now following their track back, well in fact actually following my track, but it would be the same track that they have back to Crowhurst, and that should be about 5.5 miles per what I've already done. Very pleasant section of walking this, but still very quiet, apart from that biplane in the background. Not much in the way of birdsong. Interesting, another flyer Garrick that's got a chunk missing. Something's taking a bite from these things. And I don't know what the purple one is, or the lilac one in front of it. Amazing. Claremont School sports fields. Wednesday afternoon is normally sports day afternoon. Certainly was in my day. So we've now gone across the busy A21 again. Quite precarious that. I'm surprised there's not a traffic island of some description, albeit the road is quite narrow for a 50-mile-an-hour road. Most traffic is exceeding that. Babylon Wood. Babylon's burning. 10 points for whoever gets the answer to that one. A few trees down here blocking the path. Quite a tricky section of walking this. Thankfully I got the GPX, but even so it hasn't been maintained very well, unlike on this morning's section. It appears to be what's left of Red River on the map, and I need to get on the other side of it. Well, that section after the A21 to where I am now, about 200 yards in, it's quite tricky, but once you get over the Red River, do use a GPX track. That's about the only way, particularly in reverse as I'm doing it, that you're going to be able to get out of there. Red River's down in that gully there. But this does look something like the track now, and it corresponds with the GPX track as well, thankfully. So I can get some pace on now, instead of contending with brambles and ferns. All part of the fun though. So there's confirmation that I am on a footpath. No footpath marker, but that notice tells me that I am on it. After that there is a footpath marker. Do a left here, I believe. This is very poor. Hasn't been maintained for years, this path. On the right, on the left, you get these notices about private land. Thankfully I've come to a footpath marker, but the actual footpath is very poorly maintained. I'm going to have to report this to East Sussex County Council and the Ramblers for that area, for this area, because this footpath is in serious need of maintenance. I noticed the club haven't walked this particular walk for 3 years, coming on 4. Now I know why. Amazing, I believe it was a yew once upon a time, next to an ash that's also stricken. That yew was probably around at the time of the Battle of Hastings. God rest its soul. Could regenerate, you never know. Out next to this property, you can see the signs there taking you into the wood, but poorly marked otherwise. I think this is our onward journey now, left. This property is known as Stonehouse on the map. Do a right shortly after it. In fact, opposite Stonehouse. Down this way. This is how the path should be, through Babylon Wood. Babylon is burning, Babylon is burning with anxiety. Here we go, horses again, decimating the footpath. And it does indeed appear to be a footpath as opposed to a bridleway. I haven't looked at what the map's indicating its designation. Another golf course, Hastings Golf and Country Club. This is a public footpath as well. Just over there on the left, per the map, is a site of a Roman bloomery. Whatever that was. Must have something to do with plants. I haven't seen a soul on this golf course. Might be too wooded. Don't know. Interesting anyway. The path through it thus far is through a belt of trees. Oh, that is a bizarre looking fungi stroke toadstool. Google seems to think it's a type of bolete fungus known as slippery jack. That would tie in with its shiny disposition. The high point of today's walk is around 470 feet. I'm now at 430. I'm stood by hole 7 on the golf course, and a good vista there, apart from the wind farm in the distance. Bad news that. That could well be on the coast. Not sure what angle I'm stood at. Yes, just as I approach the busy the A2100 here, I'm at the high point of the walk. It's about 470 feet now. Expected, there is the sea. And I've reached the high point because there's the water tower, which is logical. Well, at least there is a footpath, but the hedge could do with trimming back. Traffic coming from behind me, and it's quite close. The hedge soon became a wall, so that wasn't too bad, that section. And having got across the road, which took a little while, I'm now following this track to Bredsall Farm on the map. So there's the water tower stroke mobile phone mast, and as you'd imagine, I'm now descending, now down to 444 feet. The outskirts of Hastings over there, as I continue to descend down towards Park Farm on the map. Sea in the distance. Getting through Park Farm isn't easy. There's no signs whatsoever, but I've got through. This is the onward path, I do believe. There you go, you've got the sea in the distance. And agriculture in front of me. Very much crop country around here. Don't know what these are. No. And through the trees there on my left, a rather dried up large pond, which is fed by a spring, I suspect, because there's one of those marked on the map on the right here. Yeah, probably a beet of some kind. Might be putting nitrogen back in the soil. How very odd, I've never seen that before. Can't be humans doing it with their dogs. If anyone knows the reasoning for this, excrement, which is a pretty consistent colour as well, which is why I suspect it's a wild animal doing this. And also the little holes are dug out. Intriguing. Under the rail line, which I shall be on in a short while. 1 mile to the station now. Just the second style of the day, if I recall. And then passing under a dismantled railway, which would of course join up with the Crowhurst line, but where it ran between, I'm not sure. Grey heron over there. Spotted me, but he hasn't flown yet. Yeah, I've been up this way before. On a different walk, no doubt. It's in the parish church of St George's, which I'm not going to go and see today. So here we are back at Crowhurst. A bit further than I thought, 10.8 miles. 4 hours 16 minutes, and I've just missed the 5:01, so half hour wait now till the next one, but not to worry. It's been a cracking day, and that was a very good walk. That variation obviously being a bit shorter than the main walk is a good option for the winter months, particularly the first half of the walk to Westfield from Battle, because it's a good solid path for the most part, broad, not too many problems. But the afternoon section from Westfield back to Crowhurst, or vice versa if you're doing it from Crowhurst, is a bit of an issue still with that overgrowth in Babylon wood. Shocking, that is. Can't believe that they've allowed it to get into that mess. But anyway, 15 years on, I do believe, since I tackled this walk when I started from this station, and still very delightful. Another Weald and wonder, because we're still in the Weald. Not too much aircraft noise. Thinking of that biplane in the background as I speak. Early part of the walk with a little bit of Gatwick issue, but nothing to write home about. And generally a lovely autumnal walk that on a cracking Indian summer day. Shouldn't think we'll get too many more of these now, but it seems the swallows and house martins have now left us, unfortunately. I didn't see one today. Didn't hear much bird song either. Off camera I heard a nuthatch, blue tip, crows, usual stuff, but nothing really significant. So, book 1, walk 35, a variation of completed. Till the next time.